Saturday. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to check to see if anybody lets me know. Make sure the audio is okay because I got the earbuds in. So we're going to see. Hopefully it's not too windy, by the way. So I'm going to fire possibly check it out. I better get off Wi-Fi though. We know how that goes sometimes. The reason I kind of came out, I just don't think a lot of people talk about this. And, sometimes with the garage door business, I mean, there is just a lot of variables. And I tell you what, if I was a young man again, I would seriously consider stuff before. Now, I'm not trying to say garage doors are bad. We all live in. I mean, if you pick up horse manure and you make good money, then do it. You know what I mean? You pick up tree branches or cut down trees or whatever it is, right? There's active income. You got to make money. But I tell you what, as you grow, it just seems like, man, it just gets deeper and deeper. You know how you need more tools, you need more equipment, you need more trailers, and then you got to keep up on all this stuff every day. This sun, the sun up here is trying to put this stuff back into the ground where it came from. And if you live in a northern climate where they got rust, it's trying to put it back in the ground as rust minerals. So it just never ends. I mean, there's always, you got more property, you got leaves to take care of. So I stopped at the shop today. I already spent probably about, what time is it? Let's see. I've already got 3 or 4 hours into this already, just getting stuff rounded up. Yes, if you have a service vehicle, it is a little easier, but it's still not bulletproof. I don't care. I feel like I don't care what you do, no matter what. It still takes a lot of time. You know what I mean? Getting all this stuff figured out. I'm gonna get a truck because this one's a long distance one, baby. Oh, don't forget too, if you jump in here, hit the like button. I'm gonna check out the audio on this. I don't know if I'll have anybody understand what I'm gonna try to do, but I'm gonna try to walk away while I got the earbuds in because I don't know if I'm receiving if the mic's working from the earbuds or working from the phone. So I'm just curious, always interested. Had a little bit of music jamming today, just couldn't have any distractions. You know what I mean? Just constantly. I got 3 books with me today of notes. So this one we just got to try to hammer, man. So not the fun, not the fun. So that's what you get to do. You know what I mean? As you grow, and I know some people, boy, I wish I could. I wish I was that big. I wish. Telling you, sometimes it's not that glorious. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that, like I said, there's nobody here patting you on the back saying, "That a boy, good job, appreciate everything you do." It's a very lonely. It's very lonely being an entrepreneur, if that makes sense. And I see, oh, holy cow, we got a few in there. Hello, hello. I see. Hey, Uncle Dave, Peter's here. What's up, Peter? Hope you're doing good. Good to see you again. Hope you're going to have a good Easter. I'm actually going to be probably still working on Easter a little bit, doing a family thing, but I got to finish up some trim. Come on, telephone. Let's see if I can get this in. You guys are more welcome. You obviously know when we do the live streams. Hey, I see a little smiley face or something came up. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Those are always cool to see. Um, but you guys are more than welcome to ask any questions, concerns, business. If you want to see the socks I'm wearing, maybe. Not underwear, though. You don't want to see poop stains. Let's see here. We're going to do this. We're going to go to this. These all got to get loaded up. I think I'm going to get another U-Haul because we got a 14. We got the whole slew of these doors that got to go. I think it's just going to work better. The nice thing about the U-Haul truck, too, is it actually has straps on the sides, so you can do it just like how they deliver it to you. And this job is, let me think about it here in just a second. Door, portable door and gates. All right, we're live. We're live. All right, let's check this out. I don't know how I'm gonna hear this. So. All right, we're gonna play a little fun here. Okay, we're on this. I'm walking away. This is a test. This is just a test. I'm still over here. Can you even hear me? I walked away. I'm out of sight, out of mind. Oh, yeah. Sounds like it's working. Cool. I think we're picking out actually double audio, to be honest. So I'm assuming we're working out of this, which is fine. That's fine. I just didn't know. So I think it's all glorious. So basically, what I got to do is this stuff has got to go in the big truck. I got just a whole slew. I'm gonna be here for a little bit. Like I said, oh, something got jammed up on the old tailgate. Don't break the tailgate, man. Come on. Oh, come on. I don't know how often Nissans are for breaking tailgates, but this one's working like a charm. So I don't want to break it. But oh man, I had to go through my list. I had to check it twice, like Santa Claus. It's a beautiful day out, though. It really is. Definitely can't complain about that. Got to make a trip to Lowe's since I'm over outside of town. I don't know what was going on. The gate was open when I came, so I don't know if Cap stopped, but he might be out working today. Um, I didn't see nothing. I know I checked the cameras last night, I think, and it was closed. So all these things you got to worry about. We got 2 likes, maybe possibly 12 people, but it could be AI or just aliens. We only got 2 likes. Shame on you. We could at least get up to 5. That'd be great. I appreciate it. Let me check some of this before I get onto this. Richard, yes, I can hear you. Awesome. Thank you so much. Audio is good. Audio is great. Good. I don't know how good these do too. That a boy. What? Am I out working Saturday? What's Papa Tony doing today? Where are your tools of the trade? Where are your tools of the trade? Tools of the trade? Basically here, baby. Big old building. Those vans. This truck. Those trailers. I don't know how much more you could. You want more stuff? More stuff. There's more stuff and more stuff. Da-da-da. Is it Stumble? So that's kind of cool. Hello, Uncle Dave. Appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. Like I said, if you guys got questions, getting into it, let me know. Don't be afraid. Ask questions. That's why we do this. That's why Papa Tony and everybody else, we're all here to help, to assist. Looking at something. Do the live. He says that is somebody's else. We have to stay in communication. Luckily, I didn't steal Uncle or Papa Tony's live. Hourly, or do you plus commission? So they get paid hourly. I am looking at possibly. I'll set you guys up here in a second. I'm thinking possibly trying. I've been looking at some software. I haven't found one that's really hit to home because, unfortunately, I'm all about. I'm really all about. I'm really about employees and people and humans making more money. But unfortunately, there's times that they have to earn it because there's just so many variables. Like this kind of job right here. Who else is going to take the time? I mean, Cap will, but like, who's working Saturday? You know what I mean? To take out all the tools and make sure and make just. I mean, I got a list in the truck. It's super long. Of material stuff I need, like silly stuff you wouldn't think, right? But like, I want conduit, metal conduit for my photo eyes to run up the side. Um, I want. Let me see. I can set you guys up here for a second so I can get a drink and hold you at the same time. I got to get into it. I got to get whips because it's a commercial job, so we got to have whips. There's just so things, and especially with this job being, how far is this job again? I think it's 51, 50 some miles, about 50 some, 51, 52, something like that. 52 miles one way from here. That is not ideally what we like to do, but it's for a good builder, and sometimes they just, well, sometimes the cookie crumbles. But you gotta, there's that balance because where am I gonna put all this stuff? There's some of these boxes aren't labeled very good from Milwaukee, so I got a hammer drill. Why do you need a hammer drill? Well, I do a hammer drill because I like to mount my photo eyes to the concrete instead of the floppy, joppy track on the side. So I like to have options. Maybe I won't do it. Maybe I won't. Where I put all this stuff without being in the guy's way. I guess Monday it's going away anyways. But like even for myself, right? I mounted them. I mounted them to the concrete, right? I'm just not a big fan of you know mounting them to the track. It's a chance, it's liability. I think the genies are normally pretty good. They're normally pretty good, without having problems. What to do with the sawhorses? I don't want to give them all full of dirt. Sawhorses can go there. I grabbed every sawhorse from every property I could think of. I think I'm hoping to have extra because I got to think about this. Oh, you son of a, look, it fell down. How dare it? Piece of pooey. Um, but what I'm thinking is because a lot of times what happens is we bring sawhorses and we got 3 likes. Oh wow, we're living large today. And so you can if you stack them on the sawhorses. Our problem is then you'll build them. Somebody will get ahead because this job's going to have one day it's going to have 2, and then another day it might have 3 or 4 guys. So the problem is, you know how it is. If you don't have an extra set of sawhorses and they start building them, they get off centered. Like you have to start scattering them. What is what I call them? Start scattering them across where the walls are, so they're stacked right. You know, 1, 2, 3 of your hinges. So I'm not quite sure. I don't even know what size truck to get. What size truck would you guys get? Um, they got a 20 footer, and we're doing 4. We're doing 4. Got some old ones right out here. These are some crusty ones. These ones don't collapse anymore. They got the old. So we got 4. I don't know what stores. So we got 4 of those, and then let me check the size on them. 8.2 by 9. Yeah, 8.2 by 9. So we got 4 8.2 by 9s, and then we have a 14 by 14. So in my mind, right, because your shafts, I don't know if it's going to be hollow shaft or not. I got to look. But we got to, you always want to be a little longer, right? Because the shafts and stuff are typically, plus you got to watch out for your track. Especially, I think these might all be full. Be cool if that 14 was full vertical. I doubt it though. But it's over here. They're pretty nasty, but they'll work. Like I said, I got some different ones I brung. I think I'll throw those ones aside. We'll see how it goes. Let's see if it's got a hollow shaft or what it's got. I'm not seeing it. Oh, I do see it. It looks like it's a solid shaft. Let me flip the camera around if I can. Do do do. I see one. Yeah, there's one. Where's the second one? Where are you? Okay. Did somebody steal it? Oh boy. Hope somebody didn't steal it. That's always not fun. When stuff's doing the Houdini, but that's why it takes a lot of time. Start building. Hmm. Well, well. Looks like we got plenty. I think I got it pretty ingrained in the guys. You always got to have a 16 footer for some of our commercials. So it looks like we got some up here. So we're going to be okay. But how long? Let's see what you can see. Oh, there's a strut. Full vertical. No, there's some high lift in it. Looks like actually a lot of high lift. There's the high lift bow there. There's quite a bit of high lift. So either way, like I said, it's going to be, stuff's going to be about 15 foot, 15, 16 foot. So I'm thinking if I go 20, now you got to remember with the U-Haul trucks, they're going to deduct 2 feet because I think the way they cheat is they actually use the upper part goes above the cab. I seen that on the last job or one I did. Those little boogers did that. So I was like, "You're not a true 15 foot, you little boogers," you know. So all right, where did I let off here? Looks like Papa Tony's helping some people out. Thank you. Like I said, hello. Where am I at? Hello. Audio. Yes. Tools. Hello. Gonna do Richard text plus commission. I can hear you. Milwaukee DeWalt Miller. What's the Miller? I don't think I know the Miller part, but I use them all. I just use whatever works good. Like, see, I got like DeWalt case. These work really good. I like these a lot. Except if you leave it unlocked and you tip it over, and you're not a happy camper. And you're not a happy camper at all. Otherwise, I use Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's been giving me a lot of grief. So, to be honest, I would probably. What is this? Ugh, what is this? Is this like a leftover tea drink? You know, you never know when you got men workers. What is this? Leftover something? I think I'll just throw that in the garbage. I think it's just some kind of drink. It don't look like pee, but you never know. You never know when you're working with men. So, but the Milwaukee's, they've had glitches. My Milwaukee tools don't get used as hard as they used to. So I personally, if I was starting over, I started with DeWalt. I started with the 18 volts is what I had, 18 volts, and I'd probably go DeWalt again if I had my choice. But it just all depends on who's close. Hopefully, you don't blow over. You do. I'm sorry. Got a flashlight. I can probably once I get the bin out of there. I just try not to mix my stuff up. I'm kind of a little bit out of room. Got a lot of stuff that's got to get dulled. So I think I will. Once I get the bin out, I'll probably let it. I think I'll set it outside, maybe not. Good ways put it by a tree, lock it up. Got a tripod with a laser. Laser's a little goofy. I'll tell you what. Oh, I gotta check out these comments. Okay. What are the three most common spring sizes for residential doors? Look at Tony. He's already in there. Those are 16 paired up. Thanks, Pop Tony. Yeah. And I think Pop Tony does a lot of like inch and three quarter. I switched everything over to 2 inch. That's just me. It doesn't really make a difference. It's probably easier for technicians to match them up. I used to have inch and three quarter, and then we had 2 inch and stuff. But I don't know why. I can't remember. There was a reason why I ended up just going 2 inch on everything. It worked out better. But there's no really right or wrong way. That is Tony IPPT. See. What appears. Screenshot it. Perfect. What do you guys think about listing prices on your website? Well, I don't know how I feel about that. Listing prices on your website. I think it's kind of hard. I mean, you could always just like, I guess what I would probably do is I'd probably just put some prices on there and maybe just do um, starting out at, you know, whatever, whatever, 12.99 or something, you know what I mean? I'd make it real, um, that whole thing like the retail, starting at that's your going to be your lowest. Um, I've been playing around a lot with the Facebook, trying to see what I can do for some like to have some some content for you guys of like what works, what doesn't, the blowback. One thing me and my wifetron have agreed upon is that people are really rude. People don't say who. People just. It seems like the world that we're living in. People just don't care. Just like with cars, they cut you off. There's a few people out there still hold the door for certain things and all this and that. But yeah, just questions. I had a guy. Um, what I was thinking about doing. I think Cat's pulling up. You working today? Did you working today? You got to use the bathroom. Tell everybody got to use the bathroom. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, hey, Monday, just in case I forget, 9 o'clock, I'm planning to be here with the truck. So, did you open the gate earlier? I don't know why. It was closed. I seen it, but I know I seen it when I just pulled in. I swear I didn't hit it early enough to activate it, but it was wide open. It was closing on me when I was like, oh, and I was turning in. So I just was like, why is the gate open? I thought maybe you're out working or something. So I just thought somebody forgot. So I did a little scan, but I didn't see nothing. And so I'm just getting my stuff here so I can go on the big truck come Monday. There goes the bathroom. Ah, here. What does he got? Tony. Screenshotted it. What do you guys think about listing? No, I don't do it, Peter. Thank you again. Eating a lot of berries. Healthy. Got to be healthy, right? Let's see. Speaking of a lot of berries, Rich Miller, like the generator welder. Ooh, that's cool. Drink it. I dare you, Tony. What a guy. What a guy. Drink it. Oh, listen to you. So this is another thing. I'm gonna bring these. I don't like when people touch the doors. So I might have either myself or other guys put these on when we're picking up doors. Because sometimes they just grab the whole thing, and with the building the way it is, it might be really tough to keep the doors clean. So we're just gonna, it takes a few extra minutes, but it's so much worth it than just clean the door. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I took out my ear. I gotta make sure. Got some electrical tape. Go to the store. Throw these guys out for the moment. Plus, I got to make sure everything is labeled. All these. You got to make sure all your sawhorses. This isn't labeled, but I got to make sure this is sawhorses are, which I think they are, for the most part, because otherwise they get confused at the job. Peter, you got to give them some more information. I can't remember. Are you starting out, or what you got? You starting out in the biz? Are you in the biz? Like I said, it's good. Ask questions like that. No. We'll just leave them out. We're gonna have a little rain, possibly tomorrow, but I think it'll be all right. There you guys are. It is actually pretty. I think it's supposed to be. I think it's about 50. But I've been running hot lately, so I got the T-shirt. A lot of people don't know, but I actually got. I wear the suspenders underneath, so I got an extra. I got one other layer too. So, but I do that because I just got so much gear on me. I forgot. Maybe I'll show you guys want to see the flashlight holder. I'll show it to you. See my new spiffy master. Yeah, nice. And we got the bandsaw, so you got to make sure you bring in extra blades. Actually, I should take a picture. Maybe I will. That can't buy. What else is new out there? What kind of stuff are they trying to cheapen up on us? Make us the guinea pigs of? A lot of time, though. A lot of time. Takes many years. 50. I think that's what it is up here, though. 50 degrees. That's what I was thinking. It's not like super. It's a little. It's actually when the sun goes away, it gets just a fuzz chilly. Uh, Atkins, Alabama. Awesome. Anything new in Alabama? Everything sitting pretty good. Might. I might fire it back up because I forgot. I got to talk to Cap a little bit about Monday. Michigan. Just getting started. Maybe I'll keep you on too. I don't know. You guys let me know. If you get me up to maybe like 5 or 6 likes, maybe I'll stay up. I'll stay up. I need a little motivation. Yeah, I gotta talk to Cap about the couple of jobs. Plus, hopefully he can still hear me if I pull one out because I can't hear him. I got two. I don't know if I'm not that tech savvy, so I don't really know. These are like my little junk drawer cases. I got these. I don't think you can get these anymore. Maybe online. Got all kinds of like bits in them on my like free for all. I like that junk drawer. You gotta have a junk drawer. Oh, I'm thinking though. Thinking I might set you over here for a second. Because maybe what I'll do is I'll see if Cap will give me a hand with this box. I can get it out without. First thing I realized today, I actually picking this thing up. I was like, something don't feel right. Well, I tell you what, if you get totes, get clear totes. Clear totes are the best. So you can see the bottom blew out. They're not super robust, but they I like because you can see them. I got so many totes in my life, and I'm always, if you don't label them, it's a real pain in the hiney. It's kind of sad. I only got one whip. Maybe I'll have to sum if there's any in the dumpster, or see how many these guys got. Laser, check. Throw that out for a second. Get the tool bag. Tool bag's nice for wheels. The situation. This is the best I found for a tool bag and do big stuff. Bucket works good too, but um, I bought one with a closed top. I really hated it. It wouldn't stay open. Mine's kind of messy right now, but this worked out great. And then they got tells this. Oops, don't rotate. And it's got the wheels. I think this one's a Husky. I don't know if they still make more, but it works good. I like the wheels and a bucket. We use them a lot because uh, for commercial. Commercial. Oh, yes. What else? Oh, that's funny. Hey, man. Sometimes when you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh, I hope I missed them. Got both earpieces and I can't. Now your bearings are off. Gotta check out some of the comments. Keep an eye. Michigan, just are you, I'm curious how you're doing yours because I got a family member and they're doing theirs online. Door. But I'm curious because I think it's like $80 to file it the rest of the way or something online. I don't know what it is online, but I'm just curious of how you're what program or software pretty easy. What do you got invested into it? I'd be curious to know. If you don't want to share it, obviously you just shoot me an email. Maybe you got my number. You might have my number too. Hey, we got 4 likes. We're getting close to 5. To get approved. Yeah, the buckets. Rich, these guys says the buckets are good for in a lift. Yeah, they're a little bit smaller than that bag. That bag gets heavy. I might not wait. I mean, I got it in. I can probably get it out. Lift smaller. Yeah, the buckets is brutal. It needs a big Bertha. I forget the reason why. I think the big thing was is what happens is, anyways, what happens, you get in a commercial and you gotta haul it, like you can't park, especially if you got docks. And then you gotta wheel it. That works out really good. Um, you can wheel it through the building. Works really nice. You out here, boss? I feel like I was going to tell you something though. Oh, um, so Tuesday, are you thinking you're just going to try to stay up with those guys? Because at least how the schedule shows it. Oh, stay. I'm just going to hang out here. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, because I just know in my brain, I was like, are they going to just knock that one out of the park? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Is it like one of the ones that we installed? And then now it's rotted out. Is it in the new building? Right, with Calcar. We put all those doors in. Kind of. Oh, yeah, yeah, that building. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, like, obviously, if you got that, and then I just didn't want you. Basically, I didn't want you to get overwhelmed. I thought, well, if he's going up there with them to knock it out, I thought, whatever, that's great. Just that way, it's because we got such long. We're yeah, something. Yeah, yeah, true. Oh, I agree. I agree. I just wanted to make sure you weren't going up there and then you're trying to go. I was like, holy crap, that's way too much. You know. About the new building yet? Dang. Yeah. Might be a different manager or whoever. Okay. So I get both, Justin and okay. Okay. I figured I was at least getting Nick, so it was whatever. That's fine. Because don't you have something for Miko? So I might. That's why I'm only might. Yeah. Okay. That's what I figured. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. That sounds like about the right what I was. I just wanted to make sure that one. I was like, man, if you're gonna be up there, just stay up there. Like, don't even. That's fine. Well, we'll just, I got Mr. Caleb, so we'll just do what we can. And I'm already kind of, we're kind of off to a bad start a little bit. So, I mean, it is what it is. We're going to, oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Some of the, what was it? Oh, 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 gotcha. Right. I got Danny had to run out there for something, so I had her stop by. So she went another 30 minutes down south, and so I got a video of it. I kind of know. No, no, but it's just down in the, I think down in the crotch of it, cul-de-sac. So yeah, it just gets you a little, yeah, it's a brand new. So it looks, like normal. It's going to be kind of like what Jim's was over here, where it's going to be sand. And, I think they got semi decent driveways to back one truck, but they only got, he's all by itself. You know what I mean? I'm assuming the other ones are docked, so those ones aren't going to be good to go in. But I just figured whatever day when I find out, when we, oh yeah, yeah, we're going to want, yeah. Well, they got a SkyTrack there in the video. I could see it. So Sky, yeah, SkyTrack it in or whatever. So we're looking good, and the box truck should be able to make it. It's not horrible. It's just you can tell it's a, they're temporary. There's no asphalt, nothing. The normal kind of stuff. Probably get close to the building. It's sandy, or whatever. But I figured that way, if Monday our big thing is just get everything. I'm bringing a bunch of extra sawhorses so we can get everything. I think I got four or five, and then I'm gonna try to do this one different because sometimes you get a guy, and I thought, well, maybe I want to lay them different. So if you start building the door, by the time you set it, it's stacked up the right way because sometimes the guy will start building and build sections instead of spread. Right. Oh yeah. Right. 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 That's cool. I figured, like I said, Monday, Tuesday will be kind of a, we'll just do what we can, and then it'll be hopefully later we'll start getting some, manpower because opener's going to take some time. I was going to go to Lowe's and get some conduit to do it, a little nicer, just to please the guy, maybe or whatever. So, yep. Otherwise, we're looking good. That was all I knew. I just wanted to make sure we weren't scrambling too much. I just figured, well, I got Caleb. So, oh yeah, oh yeah. Shoot, yeah. One more will definitely be way better. We'll probably, possibly in a nutshell, we'll run out of lift in a sense. Really almost could use. Nah, I'm not playing it. Like I said, they're maybe huge. You know how they are, hit and miss. They might, hey, can we borrow that for a little bit? They're, whatever. I'm sure it is what it is. Obviously, that baby's a little ways away though. Man, it is what it is. Yeah, oh, I know, I know. I get it. That's why I'm trying to get everything. That's same with me. So whatever. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we'll find out more. I'm out there playing around. You know. Oh, yeah, no, I'm already getting ready. So, all righty. Well, enjoy the rest of the weekend. Yep. Oh, I'm not gonna touch it. I got told Kayla to try to be around 9:15. It's gonna take for me to get the truck ready, and then I'll bring a whatever 20 footer. Eh, yeah, whatever. Because I guess, yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be enough guys here. Like I said, Monday's just getting stuff staged pretty much, and maybe do a few hinges here and there, but we'll figure it out. Yep, Tuesday we'll start getting a little bit of pecking order, and then it'll be another pecking order day, and just figure out whatever works and just keep plugging away. I'm just gonna make sure I get some screws for the weather seal, even though it's Wayne Dalton stuff, but some screws, all that little stuff. I know we got whips, dig up enough, five of them probably need, and then nice, and then that the rail and stuff's here for that one, like that 12 foot or 14 with a genie. I'm doing it's around here somewhere. Okay, okay, no big. Oh yeah, 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 that makes sense. Okay, no, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it is, hey, the good thing is we're going past a lot of vendors. You know what I mean? I mean, not probably genie vendors, but for a genie. Okay. I mean, as long as there's one here. I just know, I thought these were, we got one, two, three, four, five. I thought these were all for that job, but I think these are all jack shafts. So this is probably one floating around. I see one over here said a name. So like that one. That one says something. I thought maybe that was for him. Okay. Yeah, as long as you know we got a trolley head around here. I mean, yeah. Yeah, once we get down, it'll be a lot easier. Then it's just, we got a pile of stuff here. We'll figure it out Monday. It's the weekend. See ya, man. Have a good one. All right, boys and girls. Where were we at? Did we dig up some comments? Did we come up with anything? Some sawzall days. We got grinding disc. Rusty's in the house. Son of a gun. Oh, darn. I might go and wear out of the wind for a second here. A little windy. Getting just a touch cold. All right. We're gonna set you up. Set you in the microwave, maybe. Just right in front of it. We'll see. Warm up for a second here. Hopefully we don't lose you. Buckets are good. Okay, we're not too far away here on the comment. For the OC, I just filed online. It was $50. Oh, see, I think this other service was 80. Let me know if audio gets funny on you. What's rich guy's guy? Is he okay? I think so. I think so. No funny walk. What do you guys? What's up, guys? Still in Haiti? He says, I got limited 3G signal. Happy Easter. Oh, Jesus has risen. Great. Hope it's. What's the temperature over there? Is it nice and warm? Peter's got. Hey, Rusty. Need wheels on gang box. I know. I know. So what I've done, I don't know if the three wheeler's still here or the little pump cart. I think it is. Should be. Unless it got wheels. Probably walked away. Got left at a job or something. Mm, I don't see it right off the top of my head. Hopefully it's still here. But what I'd use is those three wheels, for moving skids around. That always worked pretty good. I use quite a bit. I don't see it right off the top of my head. Probably got left at a job. Um, but that's what I've used to move them around. And sometimes I bring a skid and I'll throw skids on there. I don't know if I'm gonna do it for this job. We'll see. Where the heck did the three wheeler cart go? I don't know if it's here or do 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 do. I don't see it. There's just so much product in here. It's got to get taken. It's got to get installed. You guys want to come help? We need some labor. Got this thing. This is just that genie little lift. That doesn't do much. I don't know. Maybe it's somewhere else at the moment. Do 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 do. Ooh, still windy. Anywho, let's see what the comments got here. Yeah, I don't know why I got another bigger gang box. I thought about bringing it because this one's actually that gang box. I forgot to ask Cap. Um, that one's actually a little bit small. I found out that one's actually for like putting your level and stuff in there, like putting all your tools. I've used it on probably about five um, five commercial jobs that I've been a part of because I like it. The gang box is a game changer if you're doing commercial because you know this is a bid job, so you want to be as fast and efficient and as productive and do as good a quality work as you can. But every time you got to go back and forth to the truck, that adds up, right? It adds up more time. So it works a lot nicer to have this guy where you just throw your tools at the end of the day in here, and then in the morning, boom, right back out, throw them on a table. I didn't bring a table. I have to remember to bring a table. I knew I was forgetting something. Always forgetting something. Great job. Taking steps to apply for the LLC. As soon as you get your tax EID, you can go to the bank and open a business account. That's the plan. That's good. That's good. That's true. That's good. You really, it's amazing how everything hinges on that tax ID number. It really does because it sounds like you can't order stuff from like Service Spring. You can't even get the ball rolling. Just remember too, all that stuff. At least in my opinion, takes time because sometimes they're going to ask. They might ask you. I don't know if anybody signed up recently where they could explain, but the problem you run into is um, a lot of times they ask you for three reference. I always knew that was kind of a problem for me. So like I had to use like a vendor, use another vendor. I think sometimes they don't even really check, to be honest. But sometimes they do, or they want credible ones, or it could just be like what they told me the one time. Everything's connected, um, intertwined, as they say, and they just know, right? I think it's kind of like a credit score, right? Everybody knows your credit score. There's three different, is there TransUnion? There's something else. I forget the other two, but you can easily they can just all access your information, right? And they all know. You know what I mean? That's why at least one of my sales lady years ago used to tell me that you better watch it, because like if you go and screw over, let's just say Clopay, like basically Wayne Dalton can find out. So that's why there's always just like a car accident, there's always a record of it. It's not that it's supposed to be used against you, but there is always a record of it is the problem. Man, I don't know where the three pumper is. Might be at a job though. I don't know. I don't know if I want to even bring it. It's so big and bulky. Then you got to haul it back. That's the problem. But I guess the three, I guess if you had a wheels, right? Maybe I should get some. I think you can get them at Harbor Freight, pretty inexpensive. But the problem is if I put wheels, it sits up higher and it rolls around in the truck. I mean, not that you can't strap it, but I don't know. Plus I sometimes let it sit out like in the dirt. This actually, it's kind of a funny story on this. This actually used to be. Let me just check around, see if that cart's just sitting out in the boonies here for some reason. But that used to be our water jug inside actually that trailer. That trailer right there. That trailer used to be my office. That's what I started out with. It used to sit. Where did it sit? Oh, it sat right here. It used to sit right here. When I first got this building, it used to sit right here. Right here. We used to have the nose of it facing out, and so because it's got a little window, sweet little trailer. It's got a window in it, and then it's made for it was made for on job sites for doing blueprints and stuff like the big dogs. You know what's in there? Even though it's a baby trailer, but they had both sides where you could look at blueprints, so everything was nice and desk. All I had to do was buy a couple bar stools, and you're you're ready to go. It's all wired up in there. It's got a switch, turns on lights. Um, I put a filing cabinet in it. We had power. It was great. We sat right here. I forget where I used to have the generator. I think I had a generator sitting out the back here. It might still be a hole in the building where I ran the cord, the extension. It would sit out and then power the garage to have lights in there. Yeah, I'll be darned. I do remember a few things once in a while. There's the little hole, little mousy hole. So there's the hole, and the generator would sit out here. And that was when I learned. Oh, what's this? These saws aren't no good. At least that one. But that's when I learned out the difference between a generator and an inverter. Because with inverter, it's more pure. With a generator, it's dirty power. It's like good for like maybe charging batteries, like 18 volts. I don't know about the new ones. It might burn up the new ones too. But all of a sudden, I came in here one day. I had lights, like this basically, but they were the ones with the ballast in them. And I came in here, flipped the light, none of them worked. I'm like, the heck's going on? And come to find out, everyone was bad. I took them back to Menards, two shopping carts full of them. They took them back, no questions. Couldn't believe it. And I got another ones that I did my research, found out, and we were running laptops off the generator. Um, we were doing, we were running printers, and luckily we didn't zap any of that. So when I found out, I was like, no more of that. So that's when we bought the little Honda generator. This is the original. I upgraded it, but these are actually better. That's why this one says on it, right? It says inverter. So I bought the Honda, spent the big money instead of a little cheap Menards one I had. Things you learn. Things you learn. So much work to be done. Not enough time to do it. All right, back to the comments. Do you talk to your accountant? Who will do your taxes? Ask them what else you need to get up and about paying yourself and payroll taxes. It's too bad. I don't know if Peter did it, and I don't know if it costs more money. I mean, I would always set it up as an S corp, even though I started out as an LLC, sole proprietor, no partnership. Sorry. Um, the problem is that from the way I see it now, I'm not giving you legal advice or counseling or anything. I know nothing. This is entertainment purposes only. But the S corp, basically, the business is on its own, and the S corp, like you can get a paycheck just like a normal W-2 employee. That's beautiful, because there's just so many better to it. Um, business is kind of its own entity. You're set up so that way you kind of got your own later on, especially if you're going to expand. And the problem was is that when we made that transition, it screwed up a lot of things because all this stuff, like the things I didn't know about, take so much time. This stuff takes so much time. Um, so by the time you get with the vendor, or let's say you get with like Service Spring, or you get with Wayne Dalton, Clopay, Rainer, Safeway, right? That's now your number changed, and that can just throw a whole bunch of stuff off. You got to get with your vendors, and then it looks like you're potentially doing fishy things. You know what I mean? It just adds up. So I'd always would start out as an S corp. That's just my personal. If anybody's got more opinions on it, let me know. See, Rich is sending me some stuff. Always appreciate it. Oh, what did happen? How did I do that? Didn't do that. Go back. Is that my background? No. There. Hit the button. Sorry about that. That freaked me out. Let's see here. Great job. She's got, what's the rest of it? You will need to talk to an accountant who will do taxes and ask them what else you need to get set up about paying yourself and payroll. Rusty, you will need to talk to an accountant. I think the same one. Yeah, trying to learn this business stuff is way harder than trying to learn the doors. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And you know, that's why sometimes that was kind of the start of the video, what I was thinking about, because um, It's one of those things. I've said it then, I'll say it now. Sometimes I think we're a little bit insane when you get into the construction business, certain degrees of certain stuff. Like I said, we all got to make active. It's not bad. It's just that the things I've learned, I probably don't want it. It's something that if, let's just say like if, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get there. You know what I mean? Like if Peter wanted a counseling on it or a text or call, I'd probably do that. I don't want to rant too much on this, but like I said, there's just a lot of things where if I was a young man that I didn't know, right? Because it's just so easy. It's so easy that you go out and do jobs, and you see the money, right? You go, oh my gosh, I made 200 or 400 or 5,000 or something, and it's like, but there's like today, right now, right? This is accounting against that job. So, oh yeah, I make $50 an hour or whatever. It could be $100. It doesn't matter. It's just numbers. Yeah, but now this is going against it. You know what I mean? And now you got to make sure it's all on you to make sure everything, especially when you start traveling, everything is right. You got every nut and bolt. You got the right power tool. I was just at, we were just doing a job over the corner of the wintertime, me and Caleb, and we were stuck. We were actually grinding out the bottom of that cabinet. I think I posted it. Grinding out that cabinet where he caught the blanket on fire. The grinder quit working. It literally smoked on us. Now, luckily, that wasn't a long distance loser. But what am I going to do? Like, I don't know how else to, like, I mean, I guess I could probably take a Sawzall, but I don't think I had a Sawzall with me. I don't remember. And I just thought, man, the grinder just quit working. And we're it's just one of those things, man. Now we're dead in the water. So it's like, what do you do? And then if you're a certain particular brand, loyalty, whenever you DeWalt, Milwaukee, well, where am I going to go get that? You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of things that go into it that I just can't believe. And you get customers that don't pay you. That, like I said, that's the part that got to be. It's very difficult. You know what I mean? And then if you include, you get employees. I love my employees. My employees are great people. And I always wish the best for them, and I want better for them. But it is tough if you got the wrong ones. You know what I mean? It is really tough, super duper tough. Um, yeah, see, this not too bad. I got her. I still got a few muscles, just a few. Plus, I'm smart. What I do is I leave them empty because I learned with boxes, just leave them empty, fill them up, unempty, or take the stuff back out, take it out. It works out better that way. Where should I put it? I think I might lock it up to a tree. I don't know if it really is going to fit. It might be in the guy's way pretty heavily. I don't know what's Monday. I guess I could stick it over. I could make a spot, right? Maybe let's take a walk over there, take a look. Let's see. Plus, the buildings I've been telling like everybody, I say always higher ceilings. Higher ceilings. This stuff can lean up against the wall. It's getting due. It's getting due. It's getting due. Keep talking about it. Really, really should seriously consider. And it probably take a year with our township, a year or two, just to get anything in the works, for an addition, because we need something. What do I got here? Gotta head out and Easter gather. Happy Easter, all. And he has risen. Awesome. Same to you, Tony. Have fun. Uh, Start by keeping your account book. All was say of all your business transactions. Save your receipts for everything. Amen, Tony. See you later, Tony. Yes, always have it ready for the tax man. Your V5 extensions, like myself, I think we file extensions every year. It's never, and uh, casters. Oh, too stationary. Oh, oh, too stationary. That's not a bad idea. Hmm, it's not a bad idea. That's a pretty good idea. So when you're saying stationary, though, Rich B, are you talking like the ones that are just facing one way? They're still roll, so you can push the whole box a certain way, but it won't. You know, it's not a bad idea. But what was I thinking? I was thinking something here. Oh, with the extensions. Okay. What I was gonna say, like I said, don't sue me, bro. Entertainment purposes only. I have found out over the years, right? Just like just like Uncle Sam, just like Uncle Sam, he always waits to the very end. Have you ever noticed that they always wait to, let's say they got a government, government closing, right? They're going to shut down the government, and it's always the like midnight, and I'm always it blows my mind. Where I'm always just like, that is a stupid. Like these are grown adults, and they can't figure this crap out. Anyways, I won't go down that rabbit hole how corrupt crap is. But anywho, so I like to wait too because just like with what was it called, the bio, where the government wanted us to fill out the stuff, right? I was like, yeah, it's like I'm gonna wait. I was like, I'm not giving them my information. You know what I mean? I don't see they got the information. You know what I mean? If you're, yeah, it's one of those things. If you're that dumb to believe that they don't have your information, they got your information. If you're carrying around this thing that you're watching me on, they got your information. They're tracking you every day. Watch cops, watch the police guys, all that stuff, right? State boys, all this other stuff, whatever it is, on YouTube, right? And now they just make it obvious that they're just pinning your location with your phone. You know what I mean? And they use the cameras to see if you were past a certain area, even if you shut your phone off, right? I mean, there's just so many. Like they need us to fill something out. So a lot of times, right? Like I think that's one of those things too. Like right when you sign that you're a citizen, right? I think that's somehow a way to actually say you're a slave. Um, I don't know, but that's what I've heard. But anytime they can, just like with taxes and stuff, that's actually voluntary. Oh, it's got the casters on there. So that's voluntary. You know what I mean? But we do it, right? Because it's the mafia, right? That's how it works. It's the mafia. And you don't want to go against the mafia. I don't want to go against the mafia because I don't want to have them break down my door or drain my bank account. So you got to play the game, right? Two transfers. 82. Ooh, 82. Sun, nice breeze. Oh, man, that sounds really nice. Very nice. I'm going to have to sit down for a second, grab my gloves, throw this up for a second. Supposedly, at least the live stream today is not glitching out, which is awesome for everybody. Oh, I still had you on my other phone, at least I think. Hey, we got 6 likes too. Thank you guys for the likes. Always appreciate it. Always inspires me. Peter, you're one of the guys, like I said, it always inspires me. Keep me going for the new people starting out because, like I said, there was so much I didn't know. So much. But don't ever be afraid. If you got a question on it, it can be big, it can be small. Just ask. You know what I mean? That's kind of the, it doesn't hurt to ask. I can put the box over here. I can make myself a little home, possibly. Which way to go with everything, though? Stack them up that way. Not that way. Check it out. It's probably a good idea. Maybe I should. I don't know if I have time today. I don't really want to do it at the job site. Put the folders on, but might have to. I think our wheelie cart might have did the Houdini. I don't know. We'll see. This. Get myself some room. I don't have a big truck to haul all that stuff anymore, which honestly I don't mind because big truck, a lot of problems. It's all I was thinking about it. It's nice. You just get to use it. Don't abuse it. So, anyways, that's why I kind of just wait to the very end. I just file, you know what I mean? Let everything settle out. Normally, it sometimes if you can do a mid, like a November. And honestly, what you really need to do is you almost need to upgrade. Don't get a what is it, the CPA? Somebody actually tells you how to save money. Now you don't probably have to do it right away when you're first starting out, but if you can, down the road, it's really nice because they'll actually help you what to do to actually save, legally, keep your money in your pocket Uh, you know, but I really don't get caught up in this whole. I still to this day don't believe in that whole thing. I mean, I get it to some degree, but nowadays with inflation and everything, there's not much there. You know what I mean? To be, I think it's a gimmick, honestly, for them to get you. I think it all works in their favor, right? General Motors, Ford, Chevy, whatever, Dodge. Go buy a new vehicle. You gotta write it off. Yeah, but the problem is you still gotta buy the darn thing. You know, and then you gotta put full coverage insurance on the darn thing, and then you also gotta um, you got to maintain it, you got to store it, you got to kiss it, you got to love it, you got to polish it. you know there's a lot of stuff that goes into all that stuff they don't really tell you about. And then the economy crashes. Oh well, then you're kind of stuck holding the bag, right? Because now you still got to make payments. You got to go like a little puppy dog and chase, woof woof, and keep chasing. you know Maybe you got to travel farther, which puts more wear and tear on stuff, all that good stuff. Save over here again. Nice safe spot. Sweep this out real quick with my little cute little broom. Might as well try to keep some of the dirt. We were supposed to get an approach on here. It hasn't happened. I think I'm skilled enough now. I could probably do it myself. But it's always a time. Always running out of time. So this stuff adds up, man. A lot of time goes into it. Ugh. One thing too, you heard it here first. Don't ever make your floor buttery smooth. Um, I did that with the shop, and it's slippery, especially when you're unloading trucks. Not fun. All right, let's see if we can drag this thing over. Right, right. I don't remember why. I guess I didn't really have to bring this in. Basically. There you go. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? I'd rather talk to you guys. I'm dreading to go to Lowe's. It's gonna be a shopping spree. A lot of stuff. Did I miss this one? Let's see. Stationary. What's the job? What's the job? What's the job? So it's a commercial building. I could probably actually, Rich. I could probably send you. I'll send you a little video. The wife of Tron, she was down there. She took a video. It's a brand new building though, red steel. Um, I don't know what they're doing with the building. It's through a builder. So, but it's a commercial commercial building. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else. It's blue. It's blue in color. That way, if it gets hit with lasers, it doesn't burn down. Oh, did I say that? Um, so bring a chain so I could lock it up to a pole or a scissor lift or something. I don't think it's a real bad area, but it's just the problem is when you get on the weekends, like right now, I'd be nervous if stuff was sitting out there. And that's another thing I never thought about in the business too. You know what I mean? Is theft. So it's there's a couple ways it goes. My buddy always told me. You know, he said, "Oh man, this must be the roller cap's been having problems with. This looks horrible. I'm trying to find a really heavy duty roller." Um, but for one, right? As you grow potentially, that's why this can be a little tricky in business because, for instance, there's all this product, right? There's all tools, and people, it's as funny as this sounds. I mean, I'm kind of blowing this up a little bit, but you know, a lot of people come to your house, right? A lot of people come to your house, but do you go to their house? No, right? And some people, they come to your house, they get sticky fingers, they get these weird imaginary ideas. They want to borrow, they want to take, they want to steal, and but they don't realize, like this right here, right? They don't realize the nights, the weekends, the holidays that you have spent, what I mean? And you have an extended family, right? Which is always behind you, that are working with you. You know what I mean? Like, and you're trying to feed them. So if they got sticky fingers, and they're just looking for 100% of themselves and not the tribe or the family, the extended family, well, that sucks. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Like they're taking stuff off everybody's plate. So that's why sometimes I haven't had nobody really tell me, but if you come up with something even better yet, that's why I was talking about like the vending machines and stuff like that, because they're like, it makes, I mean, not that somebody couldn't steal a vending machine, I guess, but they're awkward, right? But people like to take all kinds of little things, like where's the three-wheeler pumper? You know what I mean? Or remotes or openers for select people, or just all kinds of stuff. Um, so you got that, and then you also have the problem of uh, at the job site, you got material. You spent a lot of money for material sitting there, and that stuff does the Houdini or something on you. Where my strap go? There it is. So that adds up too. So there's just a lot of things I never even crossed my mind as you potentially, if you plan on growing. So sometimes that's why this was the guy that told me it right here. Got 8 likes. Awesome. Right here, the neighbor guy with all the cars. He was the guy that came over one time and told me. He was like, he kind of planted that seed, right? He was like, you know, he says, Dave, sometimes keep it small, keep it all. There's some truth to that, but there is also some pain to that, because if you take a vacation, there ain't nobody else to run it. Right here, we've built a really nice ecosystem. You know what I mean? Um, I don't think anybody here has to kill themselves. Everybody just does a little part. Everybody. Um, it's. Oops, my battery. Trying to push it, but I can't push it. Let me get up close and personal. There, I had to hit the close for the power button. It sucks a lot of juice. But sorry about that. I probably froze. Um, but what I was getting at is that the ecosystem here is really nice because not everybody has to you know kill themselves for the work. You know what I mean? Where somebody can take a day off, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? But I remember when it was just me or another guy, or like for instance, when we had just one secretary, that was work. You know what I mean? Like if the secretary left, we didn't have another secretary. Added up. Ugh, break my my busted clamps in there. I think the rest of this can sit out. Maybe we'll jump in and I'll check my stress here. Since I got to go to the store, I got to have a few backup plans. Get me some bungees. These work pretty good. Little adjustable bungees. Get them at Home Depot. They're pretty nice, easy. Grab another strap here now, just in case. This is somebody else's strap. I should leave this for somebody because this one's not mine. I would not buy it. I do not like these. I don't know if somebody likes these or not, but they just don't really work for my flavor. I'll put it in the shop since I know it's not mine. I think it was Caps or one of the guys. I don't know. Oh, all right. Looking good. Looking good. Leave that there. I can put it on the truck now. Smells pretty good in here, actually. All right. Let me get back to the comments here. Sorry, I've been daydreaming. You need is it the piano? Piano. I think that's what I have. The other one, like the whole front door opens up. Oh no, you know what? You might be talking to. There's one that's got more of an angle. It's a little bit bigger. I see one on the old marketplace. Um, what were they asking? I think they wanted like $400, and I was almost thinking about it, like possibly. There's my stuff separated. This one's not working out so good. I'm gonna bring this guy too. He works pretty good, actually. The guy saved me a few times. I bought him at the store. That's a little ratchet kind of deal. This thing works pretty good. Make sure I got this with me. Then go to the store. I think I got enough goodies. I probably should grab one more regular strap just to be safe. I will. I'm gonna leave my bucket of straps here. That way, when you're loading stuff in a big truck, you just don't. You know what I mean? You just don't know. You just don't know what's going on. Oopsies. There we go. There's my busted container. So I get a new one. My wife John's not too happy I stole one of these. There we go. There's that. Okay, I think we're looking good. Everything's out of the truck. Double check. Make sure nothing's in the cab. No, no. Oh, there's one. Got to bring some wipes. Should on there, but tell you what, you never know, man. You cut your finger. I should bring two things. I should bring first aid, and I should bring that table first aid, because um, I'm gonna purchase probably some simple green when I'm at the store. We sit down for a second. Oh, oh no, no, no. Before I look at these comments, let me go grab Wes because I am parched. I'll grab some simple green. Simple green seems to work. Purple power works okay. If you guys got anything that works better for cleaning garage doors, definitely put it in the comments because I'm open. I'm just gonna buy whatever they got. Um, that Windex is okay. It doesn't seem like, for whatever reason, when you touch garage doors, though, man, that stuff gets in there deep. Like it doesn't come off. I tell you, when you still wipe it off, I still can look at it and I'm like, I can still see it. And I'm always like, it's like when you look at a really bright light and you see stars. I keep looking at it and I'm like, I can still see the fingerprints. That's how I am, anyways. Sometimes I've had it before too. I've had it from the manufacturer. Um, I've actually had fingerprints from when they're loading them, at the factories. Feels good in here. Okay. Yeah, I'm stating, so uh, I'll do it tomorrow and then not doing it tomorrow. Have to spend the day trying to play catch up with recording stuff like that. It adds up. It adds up. I mean, it's how do I say it? It's not like it's not that it's not important. It's just you got to be um, if you got a girlfriend or a wife or somebody that can help you in that stuff, that's a huge. It adds up, man. It adds up. So that's why I guess in a couple things, the way I look at it is that whole keep it small, keep it all, and go slow and steady, and be profitable. Don't worry about being busy. Be worried about being profitable. The job is where you want it, and the thing is, like what I say is the threshold is different for everybody. And that's why if you can start with some money, and you are disciplined with not having a really big eyes where you just "Well, I gotta get the brand new truck and I gotta get this and I got this, so I'm gonna go buy the new house," because the economy, like right now, they keep using that word, the recession, possibly. I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. I don't know. You know what I mean? But if it does, you better be prepared. And that's when you at least you don't want to be where you bought the trucks and you bought whatever, and you're way under. So my thing is like, personally, I'd probably get some envelopes. You know what I mean? If you don't have the time, but at least just get them stuck in there. You know what I mean? Make sure everything you have has a receipt. And even if you got to do a handwritten receipt because something got lost or blew out of the truck and you know what it was or whatever, I would try to do receipts and I try to put them in envelopes and then discipline yourself at night to either go through and enter them in if you want to, things like that. A lot of times if you're using bank accounts, you can do stuff with that too. Like you could have separate bank accounts for different transactions. There's many different ways. Obviously, my big thing is obviously that stuff kind of comes secondary. Not that it's not important, but you need to make business. You need to be out there hustling, and you do that crap at midnight. You know, what I mean, that's stuff you do at dark time. But from 8 to 5, you got to be out hustling. You got to be knocking those doors. You got to be putting business cards. You got to be putting out the banners. You got to be working on the Google ads. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. Um, but just don't get caught up like where I made a mistake was I was traveling way too far, way too far. You know, I get a job, I get a friend, I get this. They'd be like, "We're 3 hours away," and I'm like, "Yes, yes, anything. I'll take anything. I'm so hungry." And the problem was, by the time you do that, you didn't spend the time where you could have been doing advertising at home, and you're running up there, and now you're up there, and now everything you touch has a problem, right? Everything now their toilet starts running for some reason, but you were the last contractor there, and you go, "I didn't work on the toilet," you know, right? But you were still last contractor. There's a whole methodical thing that goes out of this stuff. Putting in screws and hinges, like that's the easy part. All the stuff behind is the hard part. You have to be on your game. He says, Iris, don't play. He says, then you will always better off to keep better records. Just starting out, so it shouldn't be that hard. Do you have to charge sales tax on every job? Peter's got, yeah, I'm going to have to just worry. He says, I'll learn a lesson the hard way. Yeah, so one thing too, so like for us, we used to do, and there's ways you can manipulate the system. I found it's just easier. Just pay your sales tax. I don't do that crap anymore where they'll ask me, they go, are you sales tax exempt? And unless it's like $600 or something or whatever that they're never gonna flag you. I just look at it and I just pay the taxes because if I got certain vendors, I don't want them sending me that crap at the end of the year and then I have to pay that money. I'd rather just pay it and be done with it. I don't have to worry about it. I found it's a lot easier. That's on them. I paid them. That's their books. You know what I mean? I paid the taxes. It's mine. The customer's going to pay me. But like I said, I'm not legal advice. Rusty, from what I understand, in Michigan at least, he says if you charge a lump sum, pay the sales tax on products yourself, you don't have to collect it from the customer, but you can get a tax exemption. Da 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 da. Bill Peter, he says I'll have to verify account through to make sure I understand it correctly. Peter, my business is okay, so part of the difference is Dave can answer, but need to talk to a professional. So here's the thing it's like it's one of those things for me nobody really knows, you know what I mean? So we used to pay a certain way, and what my accountant told me was that since we provide a service we don't charge the tax. She said that basically what it was is that if we were to sell something, so basically to make it in layman's terms, somebody walks in this door, hi, welcome to Affordable Door and Gate, what can I do for you today? And they say, I'd like to purchase a remote. And I go, okay. And then what I do, I should have got shut off. What I do is I have to charge sales tax on that, technically, right? That's what I'm supposed to. But if I go out and I service it, then I don't have to. Like I said, not legal advice. I let the accountants handle that stuff. They figure it out. But that's my very recent account. But I haven't been to our very last account. I don't even handle it anymore. So they do whatever. They look at the numbers. Everything's digital now. Nothing's, and somebody asked me, "Oh, clipboards for?" I said, "That's how we used to do our stuff. Everything's just electronic." But that's the way I've been conveyed. So what we do is, like I said, if we go to a vendor that's close or any of ours, we just pay the tax. We don't even screw with tax exempt anymore. Because at the end of the year, all of a sudden you're getting this stuff in the mail, and it doesn't all just come at the certain time. I think they got a certain date, but stuff come in, and you're like, "What's this?" And they're trying to push off, saying, "Hey, this guy spent so much money with us that he's responsible for collecting taxes on it, not us." And so it gets real dicey. So for me, I just make it simple. I already paid my dues. It's just no different than you go to the store, right? Nobody comes at you at the grocery store, not grocery store, but like the lumber store, the box stores. And that's why sometimes I talk about like buy openers, just buy them from the box stores. You know what I mean? You paid your taxes, you paid for the opener, it's yours. There's no rocket science. Here's the opener, here's labor to install it, and then obviously, it goes on from there. Mm, do you have some money in savings? Let's say business, you got customers, working another job, which is really the best. You know what I mean? It really, you know, like I said, like for Peter, like I said, still right now, the market's not going crazy, at least here in Michigan that I'm seeing with anything. I have not seen, except for there is one, the marijuana. Well, they're actually hurting too. Now I think of it, because these places, I think they get money. If anybody's got any information on this stuff, let me know. I think they get money from the townships or from the government because they build these buildings. I mean, it's the only thing. Every time I drive around the shop area, well, even I see one down in Indiana. I was down by there at a casino closer to, I don't know, I wasn't really close to Tony. He was still 2, 3 hours away. But I got off the highway and I'm like, what is this? And I mean, this place, just people walking across the street and that. And it was right down from the casino. I don't know what casino it was. But I'm always like, we see them around here. These buildings start getting transformed. If they're black in color, we always like, it's gonna be, it's a pot, marijuana. Um, but it's like they get this whoosh of money. Build a building, new roof, new siding, new windows, parking lot gets all repaved or brand new, whatever. And then it's like what we noticed around here is like they'll change names. It's like they slowly, like the lawns aren't being cut. There's weeds in the new parking lot. So can't say that's great either. But I could see a lot of mechanics and stuff. I know I talked to another mechanic. They were slow this week. But you're always getting that weird, like, a lot of people don't want to say, oh, it's not doing good. You know what I mean? Most people always, they always try to give you a little more of the upside. I try to be honest with you. So for me right now, it's like if I had a steady job, I would definitely keep that course because I don't see nothing right now in the pipeline where it's like things are going to go gangbuster. I think inflation. I mean, I know Mr. T. What's it with the Federal Reserve right now? They want to get rid of drone or whatever might happen, and so there's just too much turmoil going on. And if Mr. T gets them to lower the interest, it might seem good on the surface, but I don't think it's going to be good in general because there's just too much. It's too much inflation. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've never been a type to really look at numbers, and I've been watching numbers. Like when I go to the store and you purchase things, it's like holy crap, how much? You go out and buy just food that you have to eat, and you're like, how much? You go out to eat, you're like, dang, it's just it's ouchie land out there. Mm, nope. Work at the casino. Oh, nice. Hey, everybody. What's up, overhead door? Uh, this is Morgan. By the way, oh, Morgan. On the work phone, personal. What is this? What is this? Morgan says, by the way, says on the work phone, says personal is dead. What is a personal is dead? I don't know what that quite means. Just finished a callback. Oh, come on, Mr. Evan. Give us some details. What I really do love about Evan, though, he tells us the good, the bad, the ugly, and I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because he definitely didn't have to come on here and say that. He could just be going, I just did another job and I made $5,000. Easy. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of like me. I show you the good, I show you the bad. But that's another one right there, callback, man. That's why Uncle Dave's always talking about those long distance. I'm going the long distance losers, man. You got to watch those because they're tough. They're really tough. Like this job we're going to, that's 51 miles away, one way. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna put stickers on the door. I'd like to put a date on it, but I'm scared if I put stickers on it, our stickers, that company, being a new company or maybe whatever, they'll call us and they'll say, well, this was your job. You guys installed them or whatever. You just never know how people think. You just never know. It could be the maintenance guy. The door could be crooked. They're looking right at. I'll call these guys. And well, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday. It's got your sticker on it. I mean, you guys installed it. You guys can't come out here, dude. It's 5 o'clock on a Friday. So what? We're here till 6. Well, it's going to take me 2 hours just to get there. You know, uh, that happens to all of us. Yes, it does. It does happen. It was that same issue I had on the that door install, except it was a door I changed the cables on a couple days before. Uh, I did a door install. How did you fix it today? What's up, Tanner? I've been thinking about Tanner. I gotta line myself up. I gotta spend the time and the money. I've been thinking about my boots. I gotta get me some boots. Think about Tanner every time put my boots on now. Like Tanner's got the good boots. Tanner's got all the good stuff. He's got good hammers. He's got a lot of good stuff. He's got the nice vehicles. That's all right. We love you, Tanner. What's up, boys? Just got done trimming out bedroom. Oh, got a honey-do list to get done before we put our house on the market. Ooh, snap. Oh, it never ends. Never ends. There's always that honey to-do list. Peter said, gotta go. I finish it up later. He says, thanks, guys. Awesome. Take care. Take care. New Buffalo for 4 wins. I think it was 4 wins. It might have been. It was just past the state line, and it wasn't too far. I was heading over towards like the Chicago exit area, and I got in there. Took a little 30-minute travel down some whatever road, and got off the highway. It was boom. As soon as I got off the highway, like I said, I came up to this light, and I'm thinking, wow. I kept thinking, what is this? Is there a bakery, or is it like a that was a little too early, obviously, for flowers. But there was just all these people. There's people across the road. There's people there, and I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, like in my mind, I'm going, oh, I go, what are these people doing? Like, what's going on? They got a sale going, bakery, like sweet. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, it's a dispensary. I was like, I've never seen one that busy up in Michigan, at least. And I don't know if they were doing a discount or something. But then I seen the sign too when I was going forward. I seen there was a sign. I think it was take a left or something. There was a casino down there, and I was like, "I'll be darned." I said, "Well, that's very interesting." So it was just another one of those things that uh, even up here in Michigan, I see the same thing where like I think Friday they don't even get that busy. They're not even that busy. You see like 8 cars, 10 cars, but this place was slammed. I mean, people across the street. I mean, I was like, wow, it's like I'm in the wrong business, man. So, but I don't know, it's just what we see around here. Like if we see anything that's getting all redone, it's like it's gonna be either grow. Well, the groceries around here is as weird as they hide them. I know where they're at because a guy that used to work here actually got in trouble. He got in trouble, wired them up. It's a long story. So I don't know. He says that's it. Is that 4 dispensaries? It could have been. It was a pretty decent sized building, from what I could tell. I just couldn't read when I was trying to, when you're not where you don't know your area. I was just trying to not get in a car accident. I was already been driving, a little ways, obviously out of Michigan. The gummies. They get the gummies. 40 says move to Pennsylvania to make that rusty money. Jokey moving up lakes. He says we did like about 15 south. He says tired of driving up there every day. So you're going to be basically Tanner. You're going to be closer to work. That's always a good thing. You know what I mean? That's always really good if you can be close. Saves on gas, wear and tear, time. You got issues, emergency calls. Do do do. Tanner, pick up Tony up on the way. Claim to part of the gold rush there too. uh, oh, you're only 25 minutes away, Rich? I I was actually going down there. We were going to, what was it down there? The wife of Tron was down there for, I think, 2 days for volleyball. I think it was for volleyball for both two of the kids. And she took our third littlest one, which we knew she wasn't going to make it. You know, what I mean, she's too, she's 7. So, I mean, she's, she's on that rambunctious side where she wasn't going to want to sit that long. But she really wanted to see the Airbnb. You know what I mean? So she went for the night. I ran down, pick her up. Otherwise, I would have stopped and probably did more. But I think Pop Tony still was another hour or two another way. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because we were kind of out of that. I don't remember if this was 3 weeks, a month ago. But the roads were great. Driving, thinking, boy, I'm burning up my winter tires. Driving down, all of a sudden, man, a complete whiteout for probably about 10 miles. And I mean, it got so bad. I was like doing like I'm going to pull off the side of the road. Like, I'm going to go down, I'm going to take some back roads. And I was like, I don't know the back roads, but I'm going to find some back roads. And if I can't find back roads, I'm going to find me either a restaurant or I'm going to find me a gas station because it just turned into like that whole, like, there's a semi in front of me. There goes a semi. And all I'm envisioning is, was the one that's Michigan is really bad, the 84 or 94 down south, where there's just constant pileups. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like it was perfectly fine. I do not want to be in a pileup all the way down here. Um, but luckily it started clearing out, so I kept on going. But man, it's crazy how the weather can change there. Early retirement and just do residential. What's that mean? What you got there, Tannis? Said I could consider it early retirement and just do a residential? Maybe, maybe you could. You could. There's all kinds of ways of how it all depends. Um, that's why I'm always kind of like, for myself, I'm kind of consider myself, that semi-retired, like I said, and I'm so lucky and so blessed. I love hanging out with my kids. I love it. I love teaching. I love teaching a lot of the new guys here. I love that I got the freedom to do that because I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't have nobody like that, and to have the freedom is really to not be um, is just wonderful. You know what I mean? And that's what we try to make here too. You know what I mean? It's hey, you got to go do something. See ya, go do it. You know what I mean? You got to do a family event. See ya, go do it. But that's why it's nice having a community, a good team. But it takes a long time, and uh, you got to be smart. You got to be smart about it. You know what I mean? You got to figure out what you can. Sometimes you don't want to bite off more than you can chew because that can get you in a lot of trouble. I was thinking about today, like when I was loading up the truck, I thought, there's a lot of times I think we get caught in this contractor vortex. I think I'm part of it too, or I have been. I'm a lot better with it now, but you get in this fixation that you think the next tool is going to save your job or make your job so much easier. You get the next, and you're consuming all this stuff, and then you got to store this stuff, and then you got to make a bigger place for it. And sometimes, like for me, I've realized like there is a lot to be said with that old saying, right? The old saying, that there is that, less is more. There's a lot of truth to it. It makes you think so much more differently. I've noticed too, because like even for me driving a smaller truck, um, it's there's so many opportunities out there that I've learned about with using other pieces of equipment or renting, and then I don't have to store it. You don't have to store it. I don't have to take care of it. I don't have to wash it. I don't have to change oil on it. That it works pretty nice. I mean, and if I could find where it was economical, made sense, I would lease vehicles. I really would for the business because when you got employees, and all it takes is nowadays the junk that they're making, the the what do they call it? The duct doors or what they call them, but the heater vents and stuff don't work. The defrost isn't working, or it has electrical issue, or making stuff so crappy nowadays. Where was the volleyball? It was at a school. I don't remember what school the volleyball. It was at some high school down there. Tanner early says, moving to Iowa, charge premium prices. They can afford a $34 lake house. Says they can afford. He says 475 an hour door repair. Right, right. Nice, nice. Whoops. Let's pause there for a second. Do 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 do. Elevator's amazing. Hello. Glad you're here. Anything new in the world? What's going on? We just got the hand wave. I like that. What's he got? Watch out, Rusty. You'll be homeless here soon. He says, if you tell them, he says it might get a few, but word spreads like wildfire. And that's how rich stay rich. LOL. We just talked last week about going over our numbers and raising prices. Uh, I want a building, want a building. Do, 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 do. Tanner says, I'm not telling them that. He says I just give it, just they can't afford high enough in houses in your area they can afford will pay the premium service. What's been new? Not much. Not much has been too new. Just staying busy. Probably at least as of right now, stuff's probably about all of I would say right about a month and a week out. You know what I mean? Which is kind of what I forecast seeing right now, which isn't nothing crazy, but it's also nothing bad. Just been trying to stay on top of the products. Like I was thinking about it last night. Um, I was thinking about the openers, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I was thinking, do we need those? Do we need those radio antennas for that job? For these extension radios or whatever, for those. And then I told myself I felt like a little kid, and I said, no, I said we don't. I said because we're putting in genies, and I thought I know a lot of people. I don't even think there's anybody that technically watches me, and there might be one guy, maybe two, that actually installed genie commercial openers. And I'm telling you what, those things work. No circuit board problems. We don't have interference with radios. They blast right through metal buildings because I have another one. Yeah, that's what it was. There was another guy looking for a price, and I was thinking, it's just something that you shouldn't have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, I really don't want to have to worry about bringbacks and extensions, and it just adds up. It adds more to the job. So I just didn't want to think about it. I just don't like thinking about it. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I just thought, well, I'm so thankful and lucky that we deal with the genies for some of these commercial jobs. Because I was thinking, I thought, well, we don't really need it because they're not going to put remotes on them. But it seems like it just never fails that you'll put something in, and let's say this building is a kind of a, I don't know, like entrepreneur, not like a big business or something. I don't know. But they'll come by and they'll ask, they'll be the ones that ask, and they'll go, "Hey, how hard would it be to put a remote on this thing? Or how hard would it be to get get a remote?" And it's just like you're like, dude, the job was not bid that way, and it's going to be absolute hell because we're going to have to put extensions on here, and coax and everything, and so it's not going to be fun. And so, but with the genies, you don't even have to worry about it. We don't have any problems with radios with the genies. Only one time I remember something acting goofy was a photo eye, and that photo eye, uh, what was the deal? Supposedly it was Wi-Fi, possibly, but I ended up fixing it. I don't remember how I fixed it, but it wasn't really. It threw me because it was having like a weird blink to it, and that was the only thing I heard. It had a lot of like cameras and stuff, but it just seemed like that was a one-off. So it was just that was like an easy problem. But when you have to everyone, you have to worry about everyone being a problem. Kind of suck, in my opinion. They just put extensions on it. But I think what I'm going to do is with this customer, even the one that wants the price, I'm just going to go Genie. I don't know. You guys should let me know since we got some guys here. You guys should let me know. What would you put on? I don't know for sure if the door is a wood door. He said it moves really good. They use it by hand all the time. It's a 12 by 12. So I either thought to be real budget friendly. I thought about going with a screw drive, probably with a mid support, or going with the what is it, CLC or whatever it is, the high end Genie, whatever it is. Trolley. I don't know if I trust the ATSs anymore because they got the Wi-Fi. And I don't remember if those ones have any range issues. Hmm. Hmm. What should I go with? I don't know exactly what the weight of the door. I'd like to go overkill, but he's doing the number crunch on it. Oh my gosh, you guys get up in here. Giving him what's he got? What's been new? If you want to know what opener I have, LiftMaster 3280, still running great as of 2025. Nice, nice. Yeah, I know. He says we just had a guy go off. Office manager for giving him a price of 850 to install 60 by 7 door he had bought used on Marketplace. I know the guy, he has been in and out of the hospital for various reasons. Ooh. So I tried being nice about the price. And we did not get that one. Thank God. Yeah. Yeah. If he's blowing up, like you said, that's how it goes. You win some, you lose some. Seven guys. Sorry, Rusty says went and voted early. Same trick as the 16 by just the drums. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Wonder if I wonder if Evan's having trouble setting the drums up right from the get go. Hmm. You ever need help with that, Evan? Just let me know. You can always like FaceTime me or something, you know. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Evan, are you just setting drums first with vice gripping setting? So what's the guy? Says Evan, are you just setting left drum first, then vice gripping, then setting right drum? Hmm. Not sure why you're having the problem. Only thing I can think of right off the top of my head is he's not wrapping it. There's a certain way to do a drum. I think you just start gaining it over time. When you wrap the drum, you put your thumb to the access to the cables out, and you got to pull on it pretty tight. And what happens too when I tighten them down, I'll still feel the cable, and if the cable feels like it's a little more slack than I'd like, I'll make sure the other side's got about the same slack. Um, but I don't do it that way. Like for me, I always wind the spring. I get my shaft set up wherever I want. Make sure I got good meat on both sides, the bearings and bearing plates. I tighten that down, and then I go over and I'll tighten my drum, set it, go to my other side, tighten that drum, set it, and then I'll let my spring. And then typically this might be a little trick too. What on smaller doors and stuff like that, you got to use them. You got to kind of use common sense. You got to know the boundaries of what those springs and stuff can do. I actually take the winding bar before I start winding the second spring. I don't always, like I said, it depends on the size of the door. If it's like a 16 by 7 or something though, like that or whatever, it's easy. What I do is I watch the top of the door. And what I do is I'm watching the top, right? I'm using my peripheral in a sense, but I'm kind of watching it. I watch the door, if the door will rock a certain way. Now, if it rocks too much, I know the door is going to run crooked already. You know what I'm saying? But if I hold it and door jumps, it's all jumping about the same. I know I'm good. But if it's like I do it, it does like this where it goes, "Eh," I go, oh, something's way off. You know what I mean? Like something's really goofy because the door basically is heavy, and then you're using the cables and you're overpowering to be like the second spring. But you got to use common sense. Like big commercial door, probably don't do that because obviously the door is super heavy, and I don't want to break the cone or have, and you got to be ready that spring could slip on you, and so you got to be, it normally jams, but you got to, But that's what I do. I wind up my first spring, set my drums, go back to release, the bars in it. I'll go to release, but I'll on small doors and stuff, I'll like push on it, and watch the door if it rocks, because that's an indication that your cables are not really set. And then what you need to do is you got to learn how to slip but that's when everything's tightened really pretty good. You don't have to punch holes to the shaft, but you got to that's where I go, something's off. I'll some Rusty knows what that, and I'll wash it just a little bit. We'll do a lot. So you don't have to go like a half an inch. It's just a little bit, but that's why I put a mark on it so I can sit there and focus on that mark. And I watch it twist a little bit and I go, okay, I'll set it back down because a lot of times you're screwed because you already dented the shaft if you don't do it that way, but you're using the spring power. Maybe you're not tightening down the set screws enough and slipping on its own. That could be too. That could be. I'm surprised that nobody, I haven't heard anybody ever see anything, but I'm surprised we should come up with like a torque setting. We should do that. We should do that. Somebody should do that. I should do that. We should come up with like a torque setting. You have a little torque wrench because that is a big problem. I see that across the time. I like watch these like new guys. I'm like, whoa, whoa. I'm like, dude, you ain't got. It's like it didn't stop. I'm like, well, it ain't got. Like you're punching a hole through the shaft. I'm like, stop, stop, stop. And I know when I first started out, it was always I reefed them down too much. Um, but I'm surprised they don't have torque settings on. They got torque settings for everything else in the world on cars and stuff. Probably didn't notice last time because I did. I changed the cables after dark. The bottom section, the screws missed. Says something missed. Why'd this thing go dark-ish? Missed it. His customers noticed it last night. I just wonder you're not like wrenching down on the left side super tight. Ooh. Then trying to right side your hand. Ooh, okay. Need to be close to the same. I never thought of that too. I think, right? Because if you're wrenching, I think if you use like a ratchet, sometimes you can push, you can push harder on that drum. It can twist it. Um, Big thing is make sure you got all the slack out of it. I always like use my thumb. Like I said, there's a certain hand placement. It seems like when you do drums, you gotta, you wrap it. Maybe you gotta go back. I've done this. I don't know if this is really scientific or not, but I've also, when I'm down on the ground, I've actually pulled on the cables and used the door as a gauge. Like the door when it's stacked, like when you're just standing on the ground, no ladder. I'll pull the cable. I've pulled the cable before and seen how far it goes onto the section. Like, oh, it comes outside the track this much, or the door section when it's upright. And I've done it on the other side where it's like, it kind of gives me like a little bit of a gauge where I'm like, holy crap, this one's past the section. This one's only half. This is way off. You know what I mean? Was tight enough to stay on the drum before you put the spring tension on. Uh, Tanners, I'm not sure this is normal. It's an issue when I change cables. Is there a phone ringing in here? How's there a phone ringing? Oh, I see. Oh, gotcha. Okay. That really scared me. Backup phone. Um, sure, it's issue and a change. Evan was left or was left or right side up? Evan says I've been doing live streams later on my social media later today. Well, send it. Let me know when you go. Shoot me an email or something or text. Rusty, this time it was the left side that I had to gap. It was a 9x7. I probably should have mentioned that. Oh yeah, so it's a baby door. It's a baby door. Like a 9x7 all day. All day on 9x7. Like I said, I would yeah, I'd check it. snug and 1/4. What Rich has got. Evan, let's say, also got a quote for a door for that insurance job. Got a contractor discount from the store I'm getting doors from. Ooh, nice. That's awesome. Making sure cable is incorrectly the groove. They can be half groove off. That's true. The groove on the drum. Yeah, he's talking the drum. I said the same thing years ago about torque settings. He says I usually use my little electric 12 ratcheting. When it stops, it's tight. Oh, that's a pretty idea. Smash stuff. He says do not pull threads on the drums or springs. Wow, for the cones. I forget though. Is that Tanner? Is that a DeWalt or is that to Milwaukee? I'm just curious what 12 volt. I'm assuming that's Milwaukee, but I could be wrong. Also tighten the bolts. So guys, this also tightened the bolts on the flag brackets because I started catching the head of the bolts and the flag brackets for some reason. Well, I was just telling Mr. Caleb we were working on extension springs that, and I was telling him the reason why. Um, I normally make the track a little bit like a V, not a hard V, because your bottoms really, um, the bottoms will catch reason up in that radius, and you definitely got to when you use an impactor, we got to slam those triples nice and snug, make them flush. But I typically will make it a little bit of a V to widen it. But I told him the reason I do it too is when the door goes down, it kind of cradles itself. If you got a jammed off a little bit with weather seal, but it seems like your top brackets and your bottom brackets are always out a little more than your inner hinges. So that's something to always take for note because we had to adjust one out a little bit. But I tell you what, too, I would seriously consider if I was a new guy starting out, I would seriously consider having some long stem rollers, maybe whatever they got, 6, 8 inches longer than whatever the ones that they got. And I'd start sticking some long stem rollers in for those bottom brackets because this one was really close. And I think that was part of the problem. One of them, there's two doors there. But that bottom roller popped out of that bracket, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't know why they don't put a sleeve. They do it on hinges, but they need to make it a sleeve. Um, but if that roller pops out, it's kind of game over. You know what I mean? And that could be a callback. So if I was kind of an inexperienced door guy, I would all day swapping those bottom brackets out on a residential. Just my opinion. Just in case something walks, especially if you're going to do extension springs, which I really do not recommend. Do not do extension springs. Tighten started catching and tighten the chain and tighten the chain on 3255. Let's just hope that the gear's not going bad. It was dragging on the rail. Let's just hope it doesn't bite you. Hopefully the top sprocket was okay. Because I've had it where I'm like, oh, I'll be a good doobie. I'm like, I'll tighten up the chain. The customer will love me, and then I've done it like 3 days later, a week later. All of a sudden, poof, the chain pops off, and I go back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was the top sprocket was already leaning. That's why the chain slacked, and so that's been a problem. So as long as you check in the top sprocket that it's not got any kind of wear on it, any debris, dust, those it looks I don't know, it looks like just metallic shavings. Do do do. Heads on the bolts, the flag brackets, Evan, the bolts, the flag, bolts. Not the rounded head. Rich has got Ryobi. I got me Ryobi. You be nice, Rich. They should not be. They should not be. What does it say? What does it say? They should not be a headed bolt. Right. They should be a track bolt, a flush almost. Tended they were sticking out for some reason and not recessed. Probably just didn't get hammered home hard enough, screwed in, is my guess. Happens if you don't go back and kind of watch. There's a lot of times I have to do it to myself too, where you have to go back. A weird thing that works for me too is I hit the track if I got somebody else working, or myself even. I'll hit the track because I can hear vibrations and I can tell if a track bolt's loose. But it's always good to always look inside the track, make sure all your heads are flush, everything's snugged up tight. Um, that's why it's kind of like that Lowe's thing. It's always important. It's important the first 10 minutes when you're talking to the customer and introducing yourself, and the last 10 minutes, which is the customer and just looking over the job. So like when I was working with Mr. Caleb, I told him, I said, I said, I have everything ready. I said, to have the customer come out and make sure they touch it, make sure they touch the door. They're, everything's up to their standard because they might point out something that we overlooked. They go, well, that's still not the way I thought it should be. Oh yeah, you're right. Or no, that's the way it is. Um, and then go from there. So it's very important to take your time and always look, back hangs are really easy. J bars are really easy to leave. I finger tighten them all the time. And it's like, you go driving down the road and it's like, crap. Hey man, did you tighten up that JR? I thought you did it. Oh man. Well, I think I did. Should almost just make ourselves a checklist. Do 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 do. For some reason, Kevin's in the house. What's up, Kevin? Good to see ya. Small doors always clamp down. He says they are usually light enough that you can pick up correctly, or pick up the corner of the door. Pull drum too tight. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I have had that, especially like on the Wayne Dalton doors and stuff like that. I've actually literally watched, like you'll see like all of a sudden like see a little daylight or something. You're like, what the heck is that? And it's like, holy crap, I'm picking up the door. I'm Hercules. I ate my Wheaties this morning, so that's a good point. Neither Tanner says neither Dave says else. I just bought a cheap electric one off Amazon that could match my. Oh, okay, just a cheap one. Nice. Always do long stems on the bottoms. I know it's sad though. Some of the manufacturers don't give long stems for the bottoms, but I tell you what, that's one of those things. Those long stems on the bottom, man. It's like uh, we were running that one extension springs, especially extension springs, and the old man that used to live there passed away, so the kids are selling the house, but I was telling Caleb, I think he pinned it the wrong way. I said, look where the pins are. I said, the thing could still, he's on the wrong side. I said, I think he had the right intention, but I said, um, obviously, why would you pin it for it to ever get shoved in? Maybe he was trying to keep it from rubbing or something. He just didn't know. And so I said, on the other's door behind us, I said, it'll be up shortly, hopefully. Um, but you'll see it on a future video. That's why you should subscribe. Stay tuned. So, but I see that very good all the time. I watch doors go up. I think that Pro Max we worked on, Performance Max, that one had a roller out, and it's like, God darn it, man! It's like this bottom roller. It's just all it takes that stem. You got about a quarter inch or so that's sticking on the pass, and all it takes that door to shift funny or customer lean against it, and you could pop a roller out really easy. Do 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 do. Yeah, that can happen if they don't get it right enough. And it says a flag carriage, not square neck ones. Rusty Evan, those repairs are from bad installers. Uh, During your first inspection, door look for those things. Tell them on fixing it, adjusting everything. That's separating you from your cable job. Probably was they rusty. Probably the mom pop shop hasn't paid enough for the workers to give a crap. Yeah, uh, yeah. Rich he's got the flag bolts are grooved. to lock them in. Yeah, we call them the track bolts, right? That's true. That is true. I guess too, like if you run into a problem like that, or you're gonna go do something, just the more heads up you can always give me, the better. But just say, hey, like if I potentially call you or FaceTime you, because that would make more sense to me. I'm always game for that because uh, that is something that you don't want to, keep happening. That's going to be a bummer. Callbacks like that are not fun, but that's also why I'm always preaching about, you know, try not to be a long distance loser because callbacks they're not fun, man. AirPod Pros, it says. All right, guys, I think we've had enough. We've been out here. Dang, probably about an hour or so and a half. It's been a minute. I still got to go. I haven't done anything for food today. Not that I need it. I'm already chunky enough. I will survive the winter without no food, even though it's summertime. But winter's always coming, right? But I'm gonna head off. I gotta head over to Lowe's. So if you got anything, shoot it. I'm gonna be over there for a while. I gotta grab some material, bring it back to the shop, and then start getting some more material ready for the next day because uh, I got a I got a mother-in-law that needs a little bit of trim stuff done. So you know how that goes. I got a to-do list that just keeps on growing and growing and growing. So all right, guys, take care. We'll see you on the next one. Keep your fingers. Got anything? Let me know. Email me, text me, comment. I don't know how else. Teleport, pigeon, mail, snail mail, email, all that good stuff. Have a good rest of the day.